Okay, here's example. This is the example. It's the only example I'm going to do. This example includes all different scenarios that you might come across. So, step 1, again, said to solve the inequalities so that they were in y equals mx plus b form. Now, in order to do that, I think it's easier if we write the inequalities side by side. Just kind of think of them as two separate parts, of course, but oops. Okay. And if we look at question, or at least the first, if we look at this first inequality here, okay, we're going to need to get this negative 2x, and we're going to need to move that x term over to the right side of the inequality. Now, we do that by adding 2x to both sides. So, add 2x to both sides. Think about how you want it to be in y equals mx plus b form. So I'm rewriting y is greater than 2x minus 5. Okay. Next step. Next inequality. In this one, notice that I've got the y here, and I need to get the 4 out of there, but I also need to get the 3x out of there. So first I'm going to minus or subtract 3x from both sides and move it over to the right. And rewrite what I have. So far I have 4y is less than or equal to negative 3x plus 12. And now I've got to divide both sides by 4, or each part by 4. Think back to that activity we did where we divided all the parts to get the y alone. And our new inequality is same inequality but different looking. So remember, we did not divide by a negative, so we're going to keep the same symbol. Our slope is negative 3/4 x, and our b is positive 3. Okay, we're ready to go here. Now, step 2, I'm going to jump back. Step 2 said plot the y-intercept and the slope. Now, we've practiced listing the m and the b below our equations. So in this case, we've got m equals 2 and b equals negative 5. And in this case, the second inequality, we have m equals negative 3/4 and b equals positive 3. Okay. If we go back, step 3, decide on, we have to plot them, but then we're going to decide on the broken line. So let's plot them. Remember, start with one of the inequalities and finish it completely before you graph the other inequality. Now, let's talk about the graph real quick. I know you can't draw this graph, but if you were to sketch it to the best of your ability, sketch it, I think it would still serve a good purpose. Okay, so get your x and y coordinates written down, pause the video, set up some notches. Equally spaced. Keep track of your numbers. And just try to do the best recreation of this graph that you can. Remember, I'm not expecting you to draw the grid lines, okay? I do not expect that. But let's give this a try. Okay, so I'm going to start with the slope for the first inequality. So, m is equal to 2. That means really 2 over 1. But b is negative 5, so we're going to start way down here. And we're going to rise 2, run 1, plot a point. Okay? Now we've got those points written, but now we have to decide broken or solid line. And that comes down to this inequality. So this inequality tells me broken line, and it also tells me where to shade. So I'm going to shade above or below, and the answer is above. Okay? All right, so I'm going to draw my line as best as I can. It's going to be broken line. Okay, it gets arrows. All right, and I'm going to shade above the line, which I'm just going to use a series of single lines to show that I'm shading above the line. My teacher always told me that the side that you can walk on is above the line, but that never made a lot of sense to me, so above the line. All right. Now let's do the other equation, and I'm going to use different colors here. I'm going to use, let's switch it up a little. Let's try this color scheme. I'm going to change these into a, oh, that's not going to really work for us. Let's do like a pink. And do M is, that's not going to look much different either. Oh my goodness. Let's do this. M is equal to -3/4. B is equal to +3. I'm going to plot this. Ready? So +3 on the graph looks like this. Up top on the y-axis. We're going to go down 3 and right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to plot a point. Okay. Now we're going to use, let's use red for our line. So we're going to look at this. Bring it down here. Broken or solid? The answer is solid. And are we going to shade above or below? And the answer is below. Okay, solid line. Here we go. Okay, it's pretty good. Actually, that should have been there. Like that. Try and fix this. I'm sure I'm going to mess it up. That's pretty good. Okay, solid gold line, hitting our points. Now, I'm going to use, let's do that in red actually. There, that's better. Now, I'm going to work on the shading part. It says shade below, so I'm going to shade here and look at all the space where the gold and the blue lines overlap. Okay? All right. Now, what do you notice? We have a solution set here. Solution set. It's where the two color lines, in this case, the gold and the blue, overlap. Okay? So I'm going to move that, oops, I'm going to move that out of the way for now. I'm going to end the video with that word there, with the word solution set there. But there's one more thing I want you to do, and that's, I want you to tell me a point that's in the solution. So this is the last step. Point in solution. Give me any point in the solution. I'll tell you one. And then I want you to give me a point that's not in the solution. Okay. So a point not in the solution is pretty easy to find. This is no solution here. There's no, any point in this area is not part of the solution. I could even pick a point here. This is not a point in the solution. And I could pick a point over here. There's no point there is part of the solution. The only area where the solution exists is here. Okay, and more importantly, the points on the solid red line are part of the solution. The points that lie on the broken green line are not part of the solution. So, what point is not in the solution? Well, my example will be let's say 2, 3. That's one of them, okay? Another one I could say would be 2, -1. That's not in the solution, because it's on the broken line, so that's not in there. Give me one more, okay? And then a point in the solution could be -5, -2. It could also be -5, 7. Try and get one more, okay? All right, bye.